Morning, councillors. Have fun. Okay. I'd like to begin today's meeting by acknowledging the traditional custodians on the land which we are gathered and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to the City Infrastructure Committee dated the 8th of July, and I now declare this meeting open at 10 o'clock. I would like to advise attendees in the room that this meeting is being webcast and audio recorded. I'll move on to leave of absence. I believe we have two. We can do them together?
No, separate.
Councillor Lane has submitted a leave of absence. Do I have a mover for this motion? Councillor Russell, I have a seconder, and Councillor Murphy. Do any councillors wish to speak to the motion? I now open the floor to vote. That has been passed unanimously. Councillor St Ledger has submitted a leave of absence. Do I have a move for this motion? Councillor Jackson, seconded by Councillor Stemp. Does anyone wish to speak to the motion? There being none, I open the floor to vote. That has been carried. Mayor Raven is 5 minutes away, I believe. Councillor Bradley is here somewhere. And is that all?
Yeah. Councillor Hall.
And Councillor Hall. Anyone heard from Councillor Hall? So hopefully he joins us soon. We'll move on to confirmation of previous committee meeting minutes. There'll be a motion displayed on the board. If you have a chance to read, and once you've read it, or if someone else to move the motion. Councillor Murphy. Sorry, I almost called you Murph. It's a habit. Councillor Murphy has moved the motion. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Stemp. Do any councillors wish to speak to the motion? There being none, I now open the floor to vote. That has been carried to Councillor Bradley. Just the previous minutes.
Yeah, I'll abstain only because I wasn't present.
No dramas.
Rather,
That has been carried with Councillor Bradley abstaining. Thank you, councillors. We'll now move on to declarations of conflicts of interest. Do we have to do this if there's no reports? No. We don't have to do that because we don't have reports today. As I said just before, we don't have any reports today because Daryl's team is efficient as always. Does anyone have any GB for any of the directors or managers in the room? Councillor Jeremiah, fire away.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a general business motion for the Director of the Roads Department today, and or general business item. Now, just recently we've seen the establishment of a work site on the corner of Parkridge Road and Chambers Flat Road, and the purpose of that work site is to support the relocation of underground utilities underneath Chambers Flat Road. So a future upgrade to improve the intersection of School Road and Chambers Flat Road can start, and also a widening of Chambers Flat Road for a significant distance to the south. Now, the construction of that project is dependent on relocating those underground utilities, and there's a number of external providers that are separate from council that progress on the project is dependent upon. Now, I've written up a number of letters to send to those external service providers asking that they urgently relocate those utilities. I've done up a draft and sent it to you for review before I send those off. They should have arrived in your inbox yesterday. When do you think we can get a timeline on when those draft letters will be reviewed so I can send them out to those utility providers and push for urgent action from their side?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the question, Councillor. Truly appreciate the fact that you sent those to me in the first instance for review. We'll put a priority on those and have them back to you this week.
Thank you for that. And there's another project that's happening in Division 8 that I'm pushing to be prioritised for safety, and that's the upgrade of the intersection of Mount Archer Road and Parkridge Road. Right now, the schedule for council delivering that upgrade is years away, but the community wants it to be prioritised. I've identified a funding source, the local infrastructure program, that could potentially be used depending on council's budget allocations. I've requested some information from your team on a quote for that work. When do you think we can receive an update on that project?
I might call upon the Manager of Road Infrastructure Delivery. He'd probably be preparing that. I'm not across that directly at this point. He might have some more information.
Thanks, through the chair. So the LIP funding that you've given us to $100,000, so we've now progressed the detailed design for that work. We've indicated that that work will probably proceed through to about September, which is when we'll know a number for you to give you firm indication of what the estimated cost will be.
Okay, so we'll have a quote for how much it would cost to install traffic lights at that intersection by the end of September.
Yep.
Great, thank you for that. And there's another project that has had funding secured, and that's to install a gate at Flinders-Here Parklands in Logan Reserve. The context behind this is that Flinders-Here Parkland is a massive park that was built in Logan Reserve, but it comes with some safety risks, and residents have reported significant antisocial behaviour going on in that park. There's also concerns around vehicles and potential hooning at that park. So the community's calling for a gate to be installed. LIP funding, I believe, has been secured. When will we receive an update on the progress of installing that gate at Flinders-Here Parklands?
Again, through the chair. So we're working with our RIP team, who provided some options for you through the funding process. There will be a briefing meeting, within the next couple of weeks to actually work through what that scope will entail, and then we'll progress into our detailed design team. I don't have any definitive timeline about the estimating, but I would imagine it would be later in the year.
Okay, so in terms of the next project update, that will have some more definitive timelines around construction. That should occur in a briefing within the next fortnight?
Yeah,
Is that correct?
I'll provide you an update once we've got the scoping squared away and we have an understanding of detailed design timelines for you.
Okay, that would be great, and it is the construction of a gate. It's not a major infrastructure project, so getting some clean and clear timelines around that would be really appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Herrmeyer. Just before I jump on any more GB, I've also got General Manager Gerard Riley here as well from Logan Water. Sorry, mate, I didn't say your name. Did anyone else have any general business? Councillor Wilcox?
Thank you. Daryl, I recently had a conversation with you. I recently came across a council program called Atlas. I loved it. I only had like a 30-second play with it. I know that staff have access to it, but as councillors, we don't. And I did ask you, and I'm going to follow it up with you now, I would really like access to it. Not so that I can broadcast what's in the program and that sort of thing, but I found it extremely useful because it's all about the roads, and when you see, what are they called, traffic counters and those things, when they're out, that data is on this program, rather than me continuously asking officers when I see a road counter, hey, can I have the data from it? Because often they send it to me in raw data, which I don't understand. So I actually haven't seen a pretty report, as I'd call it, because it has pictures and stuff like this, which is very useful because I can actually understand it. But I can actually click along a road and I can see the different data at different points in time. I would really like access. I'd like my advisor to have access. I'm asking for you now very nicely, if as councillors, I don't know if everyone would like access to it because they probably don't know about it. Can we please have access to it rather than actually asking every time the data counters are out to get it, because that takes up probably, I don't know how many hours of time for those reports to get done. So can we just please have access to it?
Through you, Mr. Chair. As we discussed the other day, I will investigate that. Our difficulty with it is that it's not a council source of data, I believe. I believe it's actually an external source that we have an agreement with to be able to access. My concern is that I don't believe that that's a public level access, and we may not be able to grant that, but I will come back and provide advice on what we find in regards to that. I'm certainly happy to take on board that where we are providing you data, if that's not in the most consumable format, that maybe we need to do some work on that, but I will report back. But it's not something that's directly within my control to be able to say that. We would need to look at the terms and agreements and also what we pay for that access, but I don't believe it's public access.
Is that all, Councillor Wilcox? Good. That's all. I declare the infrastructure meeting on the 8th of July closed at 10:10. And we'll be back for governance with Councillor Action Jackson, Paul Jackson, for his first go as the chair. So see you when we get back.